Hey everyone!
Yo!
Hi, happy Friday!
It's Friday.
Happening.
What's up?
Yeah.
Bob's joining us a little late.
You know,
A little bit.
shit's getting bad in the United States when you
Here we
start
go.
looking for property outside of the United States.
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm just
Stop
saying.
it! You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, where you going?
Wow, right out
People
of the
said,
gate, huh?
"Do you know somebody who's actually left the country because they didn't like who won an election?"
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
People
I don't
say
think
that.
I
don't
mean,
know.
it is. I had an itch I wanted to scratch. Like,
Yeah.
what would it cost me to move to Florence, Italy? Just wanted to know.
Can't you get an Italian passport? Aren't you close enough? And no,
I mean, moving to Florence, though, that has nothing to do with American politics. That's just
true.
freaking Florence.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
a good idea. Yeah, but I mean, it's
Gorgeous
like
I'd
city.
live in Tuscany. Oh my
Tuscany,
gosh.
yeah.
Any
you
day
could
of the
get
week.
property in
Naples?
Tuscany. It's getting property like in Florence proper that would it would break the bank.
Proper.
Mm.
Yeah, but okay, fine. So live outside of Florence, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'd be happy
live a
to
half hour away. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Right.
The whole place is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It's amazing.
I've been from Florence to the sea and back, right, on the Pisa side, and everything we saw was magnificent.
Yeah.
So,
Dan says the Von Trapp family did leave Austria. Okay, you got one.
yeah, they did.
We
did.
got
They hiked over
one
that-
move.
They climbed every mountain.
I mean,
and-
yeah, there is a threshold. Like, there's the Gilead, Handmaid's Tale threshold. Like, if they're going to be taking your kids away and ritually raping your wife, yes, I would move
And Rich
to Canada
Whoa.
if that
I
was
think
going to
we're quite
happen.
there yet.
But yeah, I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah. And the nice thing is we have elections every 2 years to change things up. So there usually isn't enough time for some kind of horrid rot to set in and destroy things entirely.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Knock on
this is
something.
this is
Knock on
different than any other election in our lives, but
They all are.
something.
we will see. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a nail biter right to the end.
Well, in the meantime,
How's that?
Yeah.
How's
So I'm looking at this place. It's 315,000 euros,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
and it's really nice.
That's about what, 400 grand?
How many
US?
bedrooms and can we visit?
Let me see. 3 rooms, 75 square meters. I don't know how big that is.
What?
Doesn't seem.
It's got to be higher, more than that. 75 square meters.
Well, that's what. Hey, man, this is like it's barely in English. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I'll go south. I'll just keep looking south.
Just Florida.
Let me ask you guys a question. How
Yeah.
many deaths do you think happen on roadways worldwide every year?
Oh my God.
People.
100,000.
Deaths of people.
100,000.
Well, more than that.
More than that.
Oh, it's got it.
All the countries and
I
some
bet you
countries-
it's 250,000.
and there's billions of people in.
I mean, U.S. is 40 or 50 alone. I mean, it's probably going to be more like 1 million.
Yeah, 1.19 million.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
1.19 million a year. So, what do you think about that? Is that like?
I think that's
We should ban
what?
the car.
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of people. There's a shit. It's like air traffic. When you see the amount of air traffic that happens in 24 hours, and then you multiply that, say, by a decade, and then you go, okay, one plane had a door fly off. As horrible as that is, and how preventable as that is.
So that's the question: is it that acceptable? Is 1 million deaths a year worldwide, and that's not including
Clearly it is.
injuries?
We'd have to talk about statistics surrounding that number.
Yeah.
In order to verify whether or not or qualify how bad that is. I would think that it's not. I would think that it's not that bad in the big scheme of things.
Well, I mean, it's all
other
depends
words,
on our priorities, right?
well, right. I mean, there's risk benefit to everything,
Mhm.
including driving. And what are we talking about comparing it to not driving and making that
Or
assessment?
mass transit.
and then all the negative things potentially that come along with that.
I mean, I'd want to know, like, what is the main cause? Is it drunk driving?
That's a fair question.
What's the what's the number one big pie? In the pie chart of causes, what is the thing causing the most car accidents?
Again, it kind of depends on how you address the question. Like for individual incidents, a lot of them are caused by drunk drivers, distracted drivers, blah, blah, blah. But when you actually study it, most of the time, actually, it's not the individual's fault. It is poor roadway signage,
Wow.
is
lighting.
Yeah.
um,
yeah,
right.
using intersections. So it's actually mostly infrastructure.
Time of day that people drive also has an impact on that.
Yeah, but the point that Steve's saying is like money and attention could fix a lot of this.
Yeah, so the question is, how do we want to prioritize our roadways for safety, for convenience, for speed, for economics?
Mm-hmm.
What's the priority?
Oh my gosh! I mean, it's there's 1,000 components that go into this equation. Right. That's tough, and that's something that you don't solve that overnight. Yeah. Heck, clearly we're not even solving it within decades of practical statistics that we have.
Sharon is correct. Vehicle size is a huge factor. What percentage of cars on the road are SUVs?
In what country?
The United States.
I'd say 30%.
80%.
No,
80%. It's ridiculous.
There are a lot. I mean,
look around. I've been doing this. Look around. Everyone's driving a fucking SUV.
You see, I thought that was a regional.
It's not
aspect, right?
I read the whole history of it. It's like so crazy. You know what was the first company to really push trucks onto commuters? Like
Ford,
Chrysler,
Jeep
Chrysler.
Yeah, they decided they were going to
in the 80s
an urban Jeep, basically. 70s actually. I think it was a little bit earlier than that. They were going to try to like market this to American people as like, this is like, you're cool. It's like an urban Jeep kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it worked. And then car companies realized like, holy shit, these things, they managed to, again, this is one of those dead of the night, legislation where no one's paying attention. No one knows what the implications are except for the vested interest, right? Mm-hmm. The car companies managed to convince Congress to change or to clarify the regulations so that SUVs are light trucks, not cars, right? Which makes them exempt to a lot of regulations that affect cars.
That's crazy.
And so they became massively profitable to car companies. So now car companies are pushing SUVs because they skirt regulations and they're really profitable.
And
and so consumers are responding to that,
Yeah, and people tend to drive them as they would a little car, right?
Right. They're like this, like the city car, their commuting car, their everyday car. You know what I mean?
Instead of treating it like the truck that it actually is. That's why they used to have so many rollovers and things.
Yeah,
man. It's like, as you learn more about our reality, it is amazingly obvious just how corrupt all of it is. Like any chance that a big company could get,
unless it's regulated, there's going to be if there's billions of dollars to be made cutting corners, people will freaking cut corners. And so the incentive is too massive. Somebody will do it. That's the other thing. You can't look at it like on an individual level. You got to look at it on a system level. It's like evolution. It's going to happen somewhere. If it can happen, it will happen. If somebody can exploit the system, somebody will do it. Right? There's some scumbag out there that will do it. That's just you have to assume that with 8 billion people in the world, 300 million people.
But Steve, it's not. You're making it sound like it's very small, and it's not. We have a political party in the United States that's running on deregulation.
Wait, we got somebody who's coming in to contradict everything, and his name is
Jesus,
whatever. His name is whatever.
Hi, Bob. Hey there.
Starting politics already?
No,
Bob, you should have been here.
Holy shit!
Ian barely flipped the switch on.
We had to mute him.
SUVs are bad for a lot of reasons. First of all, it's fine if you have one SUV is your family car, right? Like used to be station wagons, then minivans,
right?
And now, so if you have an SUV instead of a minivan for the same role, that's fine. I have an SUV for my family car, my go to the airport car, whatever. But the problem is that people are using it as their everyday commuter car, like multiple SUV families, not as like a family big trip car or whatever. So SUVs are bad for a lot of reasons. They're a lot bigger. They're a lot heavier. When they do hit a pedestrian, they are much more likely to kill them. much because where they're hitting and of course the momentum.
the fact that those cars are weigh 5,000 pounds. You know what I mean?
Right. Plus, you're not getting hit at the knees; you're getting hit at the chest, right?
Right in the chest. You know,
Yeah.
right, Bob? I mean, and what do you think about this, Bob?
I saw an electric Hummer,
What? Oh.
You have me right there. You can
That's
stop the sentence
ridiculous.
right there.
and it was beautiful.
Well,
Of course it was.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I
that's how
read
they
about
get them.
I read about that car. I heard it's got acceleration that's like off the hook.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous. For its weight, it accelerates. It's like a rocket.
Evan,
People
take a
love
note.
acceleration.
But it was
Evan,
Yes.
take a note.
got
Bob
this.
likes Hummers.
Okay.
Take a
Did
note.
you
Electric
guys-
Hummers.
Oh, electric Hummers.
Did you guys see also about trucks? Were you mentioning this maybe in an episode? I don't remember, but Axios researchers found that a significant portion of modern pickup truck drivers, or truck owners rather, rarely, if never, use their vehicles for hauling, towing, or other
What?
truck-like things.
So-
right.
truck-like
So-
things.
God.
Especially, Texas
Really?
is notorious.
How's this for a potential solution? A different class of driver's license to operate those vehicles. Like, right?
Yeah,
you can't
like
just get
for
into an
farm.
18-wheeler and start driving that around without having the right license.
You trying to take
can't-
people's freedom away, Evan?
Yeah,
Not at
really.
all.
Really.
Not at all. No,
Oh my
we're
God.
trying to train them correctly on the correct vehicle.
Oh,
Or how about you
government
just
overreach.
people are driving SUVs like cars, regulate them like cars. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Here's the other thing: SUVs are terrible for the EV transition because they're freaking heavy. They need massive batteries,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? So, it's all marketing and profit driven, right? It's not like
Yes.
it's not a good system. People should use commuter, and of course you get the, basically everyone then has to have bigger cars because everyone else has bigger cars, right? So there's an arms race of car size in a way. And so we just need to reverse that trend. Like, get your sedan. What happened to driving sedans?
I
Two-door,
drive a
four-door-
four-door
Four-door
sedan.
sedan, yeah,
My
right.
daughter
And
drives a four-door sedan.
that's your car for getting
that should
around.
be it. I'm really surprised to hear this
But
because
people drive around with trucks because of the vibe. It's like not because
Mhm.
they need a truck. They never use it as a truck. They're driving it around as their freaking car.
Steve, check out. I just sent Ian a website.
We should
You're
own
saying
tanks.
truck nuts are
We
not
should own
for stability?
tanks and drive tanks around.
Just-
So
just-
here's one.
Yeah, scroll down and let's look at some of these trucks. I have
at
not
that.
seen
That's a Lamborghini.
most of these trucks.
I was behind a Lamborghini today. I'd never seen one like it before.
That's like literally military.
That looks like a military
I
vehicle.
mean, it
for
is.
sure.
That's what Hummers were.
Yeah, speaking of military vehicles, Steve. By the way, when after World War II, that's when the Jeep the Jeep company went to
Yeah.
manufacturing vehicles
wait.
for people as opposed for
civilians.
army use, and
Yeah.
I'll bet you that was the precursor to
Yeah.
the whole
Totally.
SUV
Ian,
thing.
go down to the car that has like 4 tires in the back.
Yeah. Oh, this one. Well, this is one.
Oh
too.
yeah,
I mean,
the double wide.
my
right?
brother or my stepbrother has this one.
Holy
Not this one,
moly.
but similar.
That is like that thing is enormous.
Oh, this one.
That's the
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of thing
yeah.
you drive through a wall of zombies.
That's
with.
But why
That's
would you
true.
need that truck?
Oh.
Like, go up. Like, what are you carrying in this truck
Oof.
where you need 4 tires in the back?
You're carrying
Your
freedom. Bald eagle
groceries,
eggs.
your cell phone, your music.
Like a
Something
200
about
pounds of gold, I think, Jay.
this triggers my Americanness, though. I will say.
Yeah.
Like this.
Some of
No,
these
that
engines
one,
are
that's the
in
one.
these cars. What do they have?
Go
Like
up, no, up one,
1,500
up one.
cc engines in these in some of those big vehicles.
Is that
It's crazy
is that a
big.
truck that someone could buy and just drive?
What the hell?
Hell yeah!
It does look like a semi. Oh, it's called an extreme truck for
Extreme
industrial
truck.
use.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is industrial.
It's a modified. It looks like a modified semi with a truck back thrown on it and
That's
wheels
not
Pickup,
changed
the
out.
pickup.
Yeah.
Right, because the wheel house is so big and the wheel was small.
22,000 pounds. You could tow your house.
Oh,
That's
this
insane.
is
like literally
that's what these things
military.
do, like those Ram trucks and stuff. They tow. They
Yeah.
tow boats. They all kinds of things. That's.
Somebody in the chat said bug out trucks. That's so. The whole bug out thing is like it's pretty big. This whole like idea that you need a bug out bag, you need a vehicle that's gassed up, you need to have extra gas in the vehicle, like to be able to drive farther. And I'm always laughing because I'm like, if you live anywhere near a major interstate and you get on the highway, if
You're
shit
effed.
is hitting the fan for whatever
You're
reason,
effed.
Yeah, it's good to
Hunker
say.
down.
Somebody said it. I was about to say it's all Road Warrior fantasizing.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. This is all because of the Road Warrior movie.
It's
not
LARP.
blame.
It's like
Yeah.
a LARP.
but you're not going
Except there are
anywhere.
consequences.
I could barely drive on 84 in Connecticut anytime between 2 and 6. Don't even bother.
If in Connecticut,
and that's on a regular day.
If shit hits the fan, you're gonna have to hunker down.
You got to hunker down.
That's what your option's gonna be. So
And
you just
better to store food like the thing Steve's been talking
Now
about.
this is a machine. Now
Make
this
sure you
is
have
that's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
what are we talking about? Where we go?
Dope.
What was that?
That's awesome.
Wow,
Road
it's-
Warrior.
I don't know, but it's firing.
That is
I mean, the
freaking
world
awesome.
is ending, but look at all those tweeters. It's like-
When I
Well,
saw that in the
that's
movie,
important.
I was like, it's
so
so
ridiculous.
it's so over the top, and I was like, all right, that's freaking awesome. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's great.
It's crazy.
It's great. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're right, Steve. Road Warrior definitely sticks with you. You see it, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Got to
Hey,
have
Ian.
be a road warrior
Yes, sir.
vehicle. Or every zombie movie. Like people think, what am I going to drive in the zombie apocalypse?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
We're just waiting.
How about just getting to work?
You just got to get to your zombie bug out place.
Right.
That's what you got to do.
Wherever that is.
Just read the book, Zombie Survival Guide. You'll be all set. Ian, get a picture of the Hummer Electric.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Please.
Electric. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. 2024. Was it GM? Maybe. Probably GMC.
Yeah, I also
I
think
mean,
it. While Ian's doing that, I think it's important to
This
say
one?
here in the United States,
Yeah,
we
it's a
don't.
bad
we-
angle, but that's it.
Our public transportation sucks.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't build anything
Kind of
around
intentional.
public anything in this country. You know, it's like it's
I mean, America is very big. I think a lot of people from Europe often think it's like, why don't you just have public infrastructure everywhere? It's like, well, America, you know how big America is? It's like a lot of us do need cars.
Yeah, but we're not even trying with the rail. We're not.
That's
even
true.
trying with trains.
I mean, if Japan took over, we'd have some awesome roads. That would be cool.
Well, that's not true because there are differences, as you say, Ian. One of the big differences from the United States to Europe and Asia, whatever, you have to think about the average distance between cities. It's massive in the U.S. compared to like the average distance between European cities. It makes the economics just completely different. The other thing is right of way. And this is something that is totally fixable. But in order to build a railroad, like if you want to put a new line in, the right of way issues are crazy.
In the Northeast, where are you going to find?
Where are you
going to
put it?
There's too many people. We're too densely.
You have
populated.
to get the right of way from every local town, government, county, blah, everything along the way. There is no like one government that you deal with that can give you. This is the same problem that we're having with power lines.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one agency. You got to get permission from everyone all along the line.
Yeah. Too bad they can't
overwhelming.
eminent domain that thing. I mean, a power
Well,
line is
they
one
could
thing.
if they
A
wanted to.
train rail or a new highway or something. That's a
Like,
massively.
why don't we have maglev? It's not because we don't want maglev. It's just that the economics don't work out in the U.S.
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the Boring Company. That was kind of the idea behind the Boring Company. I just don't think it worked. Is just go underground. If you could tunnel cheap enough, you bypass freaking everything.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, but that also.
But that
creates
was
problems too, doesn't it?
That turned out to be a pipe dream.
Well
Plus,
played, sir.
population is getting exponentially bigger. It's like these short-term gains. They add a lane in on the highway today, and you don't even notice
That doesn't seem to do anything, right? Isn't there?
doesn't.
Yeah, I thought there was no.
It
science
doesn't.
to that.
It doesn't.
Heck,
Yeah,
they
just
just need to
because
fix what
traffic.
exists.
It's weird. We talked about this on the show. I think at least once, if not twice.
Yeah,
Right, Bob?
that's all I heard.
Because when you build a new lane on the road, it also changes the demand, right?
Right.
And so more people will use that because and it just basically the demand fills whatever space you make for
You
it.
seen those highways in China? They're like 24
Oh, 20,
lanes
yeah.
wide and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
It's pretty silly.
insane.
Of
But
Of course, then there's
you
like no
also-
cars on it.
Right. And then you'll hear about other times in China where they'll have traffic jams in which you're stuck for like 4 days.
Days.
Yeah.
In the traffic. What? How? Wait.
That's
what?
crazy.
Crazy.
That's like that Doctor Who episode where people were in a traffic
Yes.
jam for 20 years.
Oh yeah, that's a crazy.
Oh, forget it.
They basically
No
live
way.
their life
I would
in a
check
traffic
out.
jam.
I would check.
I mean,
out.
I would
That would be the
quit claim on my car after about
Forget
a
it.
day. I'd be like, okay, fuck it, I don't own this car anymore, and I'd walk away.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's when you
that
need the
really
bug out bag. That's the bug out bag.
Except you
Jake.
couldn't
Put it in
because
your
these
car.
were flying cars, and so you were basically in the middle of floating in the middle of the air. So you
Oh,
can't,
is that what is
you
that?
can't
Was
just
that the rub?
abandon your car. The whole thing was anyway. In that episode, the whole spoiler alert. The whole thing was
Uh-oh.
was a scam. That
Yeah.
it was manufactured for some. I think there was an AI that was running the whole thing. I forget the
When
details.
they were playing a game.
But it wasn't like a genuine organic traffic jam. It was manufactured by whoever was in control in order to control people or do something out of them.
Was
How
that like
rude.
Douglas Adams, where they used it as a way to get rid of the useless third of the country of the civilization? Just like just have them be in a traffic jam. We don't want or need this group of people anymore. Just like the middle managers and just the people that have useless jobs. What was that? Right? That was
I think they put him in a rocket and sent him away.
yes, but I'm comparing it.
Oh yeah.
Comparing it.
Someone in the
Right.
chat said that the answer must be the Star Trek transporter. My answer
Oh
to
yeah,
that
that's good.
yeah, that killing
Sure.
machine. Yeah, the last thing we want to do is popularize that killing machine because every time you use it, you die.
Star Trek transport.
Right, Bob?
Yeah, but that's part of it. The other part is that you're dealing with, E equals MC squared. You're dealing with energies. Like the laptop that I'm looking at could like knock out Manhattan if you converted it to energy.
Cool.
It's like, let's just start flinging that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Bob, you just got to get your Heisenberg compensators, and you're good.
Then we're done. Then we're good.
Yeah.
That's all.
At least they did that, you know?
Yeah. The inertial dampeners, Heisenberg compensators.
Yeah. Bring me the hydro span.
Let's just get in the physics alterer, and then everything will work.
It is fun in science fiction. I'm on the third Hyperion book. It's really good, but they've got spaceships where they're throwing hundreds of G's, but of course they've got a bubble of force, and you're okay. Otherwise, you'd be turned into strawberry.
You call it a bubble
But
of
it's
force?
hundreds of G's.
Bubble.
But man, imagine if that would be pretty wicked if we could actually do that. But
Hundreds
sorry.
of
Universe says, screw you.
Not in my universe.
Bubble.
Slow down there.
You just have to transfer our intelligence into robots that can take the 100 Gs.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right.
That's ultimately what it's going to be.
Bob.
You know what robots can't do, or at least not
Inevitable.
yet, and maybe
Sounds like a segue.
Yeah, it is a segue. They can't. Can they not, or maybe we can't either? Smell Parkinson's?
Mm-hmm.
Steve, is this a legit thing?
What do you guys think? Can someone
Oh,
smell
gosh.
someone
Yes,
else's?
the answer
Parkinson's?
is yes.
I would say yes. There is
I
some
know-
kind of odor.
There are diseases that can be detected through smell.
It's one of those things that it sounds BS-y at first, but you always got to look at the details. So this one, I think, checks out. I mean, I looked into it as deeply as I could. There's only
Passes
been
the smell test.
really been past the smell test. Only been around for a few years. Have they really been studying it? But it all started with a woman who claimed that she could smell that her husband had Parkinson's disease, and it turns out she's a super smeller, right?
Mhm.
A super smeller?
Super
Yeah.
smeller.
Not super smelly.
Not
smelly.
super
super
taster
smeller.
like Steve.
And not a super taster. Maybe she could be a super taster.
It could
I
be,
don't know.
yeah. Aren't the two connected?
And there are volatile biomarkers in Parkinson's disease that plausibly some people could smell while others can't. She individually has been tested and apparently is extremely accurate in telling who has. Basically, they did a test where they had 20 or 30 people or whatever wear like a white T-shirt for a day, and then so it was like a blinded test. Then she had to blinded tell like which T-shirt came from somebody. Did they have early Parkinson's, late Parkinson's, no Parkinson's? And she was incredibly accurate.
That's pretty good.
And now,
Yeah.
smell is molecules, right? So therefore,
Sure.
how do you detect these molecules?
Yeah. So, that you could do like a swab sweat test, and then they could be in there. So they're working on that. Again, this is all recent. We have to see if we can close the loop on this, but it sort of inspired this line of research into like, well, what are the volatile markers that could be different, in some people with Parkinson's disease, and can we come up with a test for them So
This is
this-
the
Or more importantly, about the people who can detect it through smell. How do we replicate that?
Yeah, we
right?
need a machine to do that.
We
This
need
is a funny quote from her. His
artificial
lovely,
nose.
his lovely male musk smell had got this
Ugh.
overpowering sort of nasty yeast smell. And she said, I kept saying
Yeah,
to him,
it's
"Look,
called
you know, you're not
called
washing
death.
enough." Okay,
Oh
right.
my
Oh, wow.
gosh. Oh, yuck.
So that's interesting.
Oh gosh.
She's pretty straightforward, huh?
It's just straight up.
Well,
I mean,
Mhm.
if you're
how
a
else
super
you
smeller,
going to describe it?
you got to tell them, I guess.
You guys watching The Boys? Up to date on The Boys?
No.
No, not me.
Somebody
but go
brought it
ahead.
up
When does
in
it
the-
drop, Steve?
All right. What?
I think it's Friday. It might be Friday.
Today's Friday.
It's the last season. It's a good season. It's definitely leaning heavy into the fascist whole thing, you know,
Oh, so
Yeah.
and more
It's
blatantly. It's more blatant. Oh, on Thursday.
yeah.
I usually watch it on Fridays.
Are they about to become super villains or something?
They've always been
They've
super
always
villains.
Oh, they've always been
They've always
villains.
been super villains.
You think there are
Oh,
any
well, there you
Trump
go.
supporters out there that are watching it and then like they kind of go, "Wait a minute"?
Yes,
No,
that's-
there definitely are.
that is
Right?
happening.
That
No,
does happen.
it's not subtle. They're like totally leaning into the
But it's like the
MAGA fascism kind of.
wasn't the second season
representation.
about a literal Nazi? Like she
Yeah.
was literally
Yeah,
a
literally.
Nazi
Yeah, it got
Yeah.
They,
very
from
bleak.
they
World
signed
War
up to join
II.
the National Socialist Party. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that was a thing.
they're on the mailing list.
They get the
no.
newsletter.
Um, there are some infections that you learn to detect by smell in the hospital. Somebody mentioned C. diff.
Oh, C. diff,
Absolutely.
right.
But there's one pneumonia that I'm trying to remember. What's it called? I'm trying to remember. It has a mousy smell.
What does a mouse smell like?
Pee,
Yeah,
pee,
it's like a certain kind of rodent,
Yeah.
musky smell.
the smell.
It's
How would
yeah.
you know if you don't have a
That's
frame of
terrible.
reference?
You just know it. You smell it, and someone says that's a
Something's
mousy
wrong.
smell, and you're like, okay,
Hey,
now once you smell it, you'll always be able to identify it.
Oh, great.
So you can make a diagnosis of which infection somebody has by smelling their breath.
No thanks.
Aspiration.
Jay, that's your job.
I'm not doing that.
Jay, go
I can-
around
I
and
can look
smell
it up
everybody.
really quick.
Stick your nose in
Yeah.
someone's mouth.
Necrotizing pneumonia.
Necrotizing? Yeah, right. No kidding.
I don't know.
I mean, we're all just in whatever state of decay, frankly.
True.
It's true.
Hey, speak for
Pseudomonas.
yourself.
Pseudomonas.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Can
hate
you
the
smell
mouth
me,
smell.
please?
I smell good. I
Stop.
don't think I've been accused of smelling bad.
That's good.
Mhm.
That's
So
good.
Not to
therefore,
your-
I'm
Not
healthy.
to your
and I don't-
face, anyway.
and I don't need to see a doctor. That's right. I'm not sick.
can-
I don't smell bad.
You can taste urine to see if it's sweet, but nobody does that.
No.
Nobody should do that.
No.
Yeah.
I imagine people do become desensitized to their own smells, their own odors.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Just even if your odor changes over time, which I
You get
Apparently it
desensitized
does.
to any smell you are habitually exposed to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why you go on
Garbage.
vacation, you come back to your house, and then this is what my house smells like, because you stopped noticing it when you were living there.
So-
I remember being a kid and like I thought certain people's houses definitely smelled weird.
Oh, there was
Yeah.
skunk
True.
everywhere. Oh, it was awful.
That's true.
Different
you-
different people's houses
I know-
smell weird,
I
and there's
know, but
definitely
then-
an old person house smell.
Oh
No,
yeah.
there
Yeah.
absolutely
The old
100%.
It smells like
there just is.
newspapers,
It exists. Nobody's
old
doubting
books, right? It smells like an old book.
Guys, what does my house smell
Jay,
like?
don't deny it.
I
Meatballs,
don't deny it.
meatballs and sourdough bread.
I'd like to think.
Jay, there's no distinctive odor in your.
No.
I don't detect an odor.
Yeah, I don't think
in
so.
any of your places. I do not detect any kind of odor
Yeah.
that makes me go, oh, nothing. And I'm not that familiar with your homes.
But you haven't been to Ian's house. That's
That's
why.
true.
I've been to
Yeah.
Ian. I've been outside of Ian's
That's
house.
true. You have been outside, and did it smell?
twice.
It smells
Did it
like
smell?
it smells
Don't
like
talk about it.
watermelons.
I don't know. It was dark.
Okay,
Yeah, it
all
smelled-
right, okay.
Watermelon
Speaking of,
rinds and sour defeat.
Whatever.
Poor Ian.
I don't know how to make this transition. I was going to say speaking of melons, but that doesn't make any sense because have
The
you
melon
guys
heads.
heard that microplastics are being found in human and canine
Great.
testicles?
And
Yeah.
the
It's
melons.
everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's
It is so everywhere.
The thing is now.
Where isn't it?
The thing is, yeah, that's exactly what they need to do. Finding places where it isn't. That's what's extraordinary.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
like
truth.
you would think at some point they would do something about it. You know what I mean? Like they're-
Who
What
would
can
do
they
what?
do? Who?
The
and
gov- the
when?
government,
How?
They-
global
Which
government.
the
Hey.
government? The
Freaking
195 governments?
Illumi-
What are they going to
Illuminati.
do? Reformulate the civilization's technology?
End all plastic? I'm okay.
Yeah.
Well, you don't think we could significantly reduce plastic consumption?
Yes, we have to, but that's good. That would take a long time and
All right, let's
concerted
start.
effort.
Let's
I
start.
agree. We need to do it. We need
We
to.
do.
We need to
Needs to be
reduce our
sequestered,
use of single-use plastic.
right?
We need to think carefully about which plastics we are being produced for what purpose. And use more biodegradable plastic that
Mhm.
doesn't turn into microplastics
Mhm.
or the forever plastics.
Mhm.
And we need to really carefully manage our waste stream.
Let's use aluminum and glass.
And
How about that?
yeah, where we can, we should be using aluminum and glass rather than single-use plastic.
And we need to collect what's out there too.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
really bad.
what's
Yeah.
already out there. Yeah, absolutely. But the
But
thing
you know,
is,
the
like
more falling,
90% of plastic in the ocean comes from like a couple of countries. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
there are some, although it's I think the Philippines is like the #1 conduit for plastic into the oceans, but they also take a lot of other people's plastic, so it's not really all their fault. It's
Right.
just
Oh,
that
I see.
Garbage
that's
dump.
where
Yeah,
it
that's
all
not their
ends up.
fault.
That's just where it all ends up. Yeah.
That's not their fault.
But
But there
then-
definitely are. But the problem is, it's all ending up in a low regulation, area. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
Probably.
Yeah.
Do you know what makes it more
we're
galling?
not putting our
Didn't
plastic
these
in the
companies-
oceans.
Didn't the companies
We're giving it to them, and they're putting it in the
misrepresent
ocean.
the disposal possibilities of plastic?
Or the recyclability, probably. Of plastic,
Yeah, the
right?
yeah. Didn't they like on purpose really say, "Oh yeah, we could totally recycle this, no problem," and it's like much harder to do and not done like they said.
It was a recent news item we did on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no freaking excuse. It's just greed, corporate greed. That's it. It's cheap.
Yep.
It's light. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, the physical properties of plastic make it great for the purposes that we're using it for. It's just at the back end, the disposal, it turns out to be, we can't just ignore the fact that it's a massive garbage and disposal problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, right. We can't we can't stop creating plastics. That won't work either. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, think of the medical industry if it didn't have plastic.
Oh no, yeah.
What would
There are some uses
it
where
wouldn't
we
be.
absolutely need it for.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you just look around you right now, like most of us are sitting in front of computers. I'm surrounded by plastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
We are
literally
the age of-
surrounded by plastic. It's freaking everywhere.
It is
our
the
world.
defining product, I think, of,
Yeah, but
of
some-
our civilization.
Some
Uh-oh.
uses,
Here we go, Bob. Let
like
me
we said, some uses are extremely critical.
full screen, Bob. There we go.
Is that
There we
plastic,
go.
Bob? I thought that
This
was
is the kind
human
of
skin.
thing- See, this kind of plastic's not getting in anyone's testicles. This is good.
No, Bob,
In
we're
my
talking.
library.
It's right. It's
Not for 1,000 years.
Bob,
it's
you
the
definitely
disposable
have.
plastics that are the problem. You know, if you have a plastic and you're going to
Cut me
keep
off.
it forever, that's fine. It's like
Sorry.
it's sequestered and away from the environment.
Bob, you probably have 2 or 3 plastic pumpkins in your testicles right now.
Oh, they're not plastic.
Oh, there's full pumpkins. Good for you.
They're
Bob.
full gourds.
Full gourds. Got to get that checked out.
Not by me.
Mhm.
I'll tell you, like the older I get, the more I am into like really well-made things that are heavy.
Mm.
I just like stuff that feels like it's made out
Like
of something-
metal?
like metal and hardwoods and things like that. Like it's I appreciate that kind of stuff.
Well, so here's some metal that you won't appreciate, and
Oh,
to be equality based, a study found toxic metals in popular tampon brands.
Uh-oh.
So that
I got to
is-
stop eating those.
You got to stop. Right.
Oh my
that's true.
gosh.
You said
Wait,
stop
that's-
using those. So that apparently arsenic and
So
other
what-
heavy
so-
metals like
Oh,
lead,
boy.
and that seems to be, I think it absorbs obviously right into the bloodstream.
We're not talking
As
about
opposed to
like
through the
those
kidney.
tiny, super minuscule trace amounts that don't add up to anything, right? This has to
I
have an
mean,
impact
that's
of
a
some
good
kind.
question. That's a yeah. No, they said that there's negative health effects, but they could be such a minuscule amount.
What's the dose?
What's the dose?
Yeah, let's check that.
What's the dose?
Detected measurable concentration.
Yeah, measurable. Okay. Yeah. So it'd be-
know,
as well
here's-
as elevated.
But that doesn't mean clinically relevant.
Yeah, that's
Aha.
You
Remember
know,
toxic shock syndrome? You guys?
I do remember
Mhm.
that.
totally. So here's yet another goddamn text
Wow.
from some jerk.
Yeah.
All he, she, or it is saying is
Yeah.
hello, and I always just delete and report. It
Hello.
doesn't make any difference. Would it hurt if just for once I actually replied and said, "Get a fucking life" to
To some automatic bot
know.
thing that's
It's
texting
like
you
it
or
would
whatever.
feel good. It would just
It would
feel
feel
good
good.
if I could.
Good, Bob. What are you
reply.
waiting for?
But I
think-
never reply because I don't want anyone to know that, hey, here's a live.
Right.
Not like some
Yeah.
automated phone bank
It's just
computer
going to make
thing.
it worse if I reply, but it
goes
would
out.
feel so good.
Evan, for
Why?
that kind of phishing type of scam, it's actually not automated bots, or maybe
hire-
initially. It's mainly people who are working in slave labor conditions. So unfortunately, the person you would be texting back, Bob, probably
Is a victim.
is a victim of the system. They're not the ones making the money or making it happen or running it. There's somebody who life situation, forced them into a room somewhere where they're forced to work 12 hours a day, trying to scam people by texting them.
Oh, great. The worst of humanity.
I assumed at this point it would be all automated. Why wouldn't you just automate that? That's
No, because the idea is, so the way those scams work, like what you say, what's the point of sending me a text that says hello? What they're trying to do is get you to reply and say, I'm sorry, you have the wrong person.
Right.
And then they'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I was just trying to blah, blah. Then they just sort of fishing for somebody who will communicate with them.
Of course, but that could be flagged. It must be 99.9% of the texts that are sent out don't get any response.
Right.
But if you do get a little response, then you flag it to that poor person.
Yeah, I said maybe the first level is it, but if you're responding to somebody, that's going to be a person.
Yes,
and that person
I'm
is
talking
probably
about first level. I'm not talking about second level. It would feel so good to just reply for once.
But I'm saying if you reply, you're missing my point. If you reply, it's going to a person.
Yeah.
Yes, I know, but it would still feel good to reply and to say, "What the fuck?"
You could just text me and say that. And be like,
But what if they're a victim? What if they're a prisoner of some kind, an economic prisoner, Bob?
That's actually.
Then you'd feel terrible.
Somebody brought it up in the chat. I think either I or Evan, maybe you mentioned it. Kit Boga, who's a pretty popular streamer on Twitch. He annoys scammers, and it's mainly people from India or that region that do promote those scams where they're try to get an old person to go and buy a gift card and then give them the number and yada yada whatever.
Yeah.
In a way you can feel bad because their economic situation might not be the best, but at the same time they're scamming elderly people.
Yeah.
So he makes content out of that.
If they're voluntarily doing it, okay, but if they're under
duress,
right, in some form,
that's what I want.
You
I want to reply to somebody who's doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You got to get the boss. But
you're never going to hurt anyone, Bob. You kidding me?
But he is really fun with that. It is pretty. You should, if you guys check him out, Kit Boga. He's pretty fun. He's he does voices and he creates separate computers where he plays with them for hours. I mean, it's really
what you have to do is you have to do what Liam Neeson did in Taken.
That's right.
Your response is, I have a particular set of skills. I will find you and I will kill you.
But then you have to, and
then you have to actually do it. Then you have to track back to the bosses. But it's a lot of these are organized crime. They ultimately lead to, the Yakuza or whatever, just some organized crime syndicate. You know what I mean? Not
so you want to go to war with the organized crime?
That's what I'm saying. That's where you're going to end up.
Yeah, you got to be a little careful.
I just don't pick up my phone anymore.
Yeah, I know. And even when his favorite brother's calling me, he doesn't pick up the damn phone.
How can I be sure it's you?
You pick up the phone.
He admitted you're his favorite.
I mean, I don't pick up the phone if it says likely scam call. But for email, I do like to track.
Ooh, likely scam. Hello.
Just the evolving scams, because they do sort of move over to different strategy. Like the one they're doing recently that I've noticed a massive uptick in is you get an email from whatever, some generic sounding company that's an invoice. Like, thank you for your purchase. We've charged you $400. It's just that perfect amount to make you freak out, but not crazy.
Best Buy does it. Norton. I've had it from the other one. Life. I've got it from several of those phony bills.
Yeah.
So you think, wait a minute,
Geek Squad.
They make you think that you've been hacked and somebody you're getting an invoice for something you didn't buy. Obviously, they're trying to trigger you.
Yeah, right. Click here to if you have any questions.
Yeah, right.
Enter your credit card in again, and we will credit your card.
Yeah, they're not going to get us. They're going to get the more vulnerable of us, especially elderly who are not used to these things,
Yeah.
not sophisticated, not technologically understanding enough of how
It's
this can get you.
it's frustrating dealing with. Our mom's 87, and it's frustrating dealing with her because she's just flummoxed by cell phones.
Right.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
at such a level. It's just like, come on, taking a picture is not that hard, but it's good though because she's so under the waterline that she can't even be taken advantage of because she has trouble with even texting.
Yay.
So that's just like, all right, I can't. It's like I'm glad she's not surfing the web.
Oh gosh.
I'm happy because
Right.
yeah,
Bob,
if she was a little bit more savvy, she'd probably be broke.
So there's like a savvy threshold, but also
Yes.
on the bottom thresholds. So you're saying we need to be as a society a little smarter. Do you think that has anything to do with which direction you're sleeping?
No.
Cardinally?
That's feng shui stuff.
I sleep horizontal. Does that
Oh,
make a
well,
difference?
all right. Let's see. There's some maybe quote unquote research.
Neuroscience fun fact of the day is
There
that
we
the direction that you lay while you're sleeping at night can impact your brain waves and your quality of sleep at night, and therefore your mood the next day. Research shows that people who lay in the north-south direction while they're sleeping have increased energy of delta, theta, and alpha brain waves. And these are
colorful and they have numbers. What do you guys think about that? Delta waves.
That's all accurate. Those are
The waves do happen.
Those are the designation of different EEG waves.
Mhm.
Those are the frequencies. So
I mean,
that's just a generic. These are how we designate EEG waves.
yeah, it's the claim on top of all this that's
Right.
complete bullshit.
Yeah, but the idea that you could alter your brain waves and therefore the quality of your sleep and have a noticeable mood.
What are we, freaking radio antennas?
Yeah, that's
I mean,
demonstrable bullshit.
It's the plausibility scale that it totally fails.
Yeah.
That's if you know about what forces are impacting you. From gravity to magnetic.
Magnetic. Yeah, that's what she gets
These are
to.
brainwaves.
All those things impacting you and what they could and how they would interact with a brainwave. Nothing would make a difference if you're sleeping like this or like that. Nothing would make a difference. So that should be just like
The
disregarded.
magnetic field of the Earth, like at the level of a human
God.
head, is
Forget it.
teeny tiny.
Oh my
teeny,
gosh.
tiny.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Couldn't you just
Your
put a magnet
refrigerator
next to-
magnet probably
Yeah,
would
it's like
have a
that.
greater.
right.
And this is another example of I don't know how sincere this person is. Like she could be believing it, or this could just be infotainment.
Well, she's wearing a low cut thing, so
Okay. Let's.
Well, I'm just
let's see
saying,
if there's
you know,
anything
Well, she
else.
does open with
Quality
it,
deep sleep
right.
Yeah.
relaxation.
Everything is
And
for
this
everything.
north-south bed positioning is also associated with more positive mood states during the day. Now, research also shows that people who lay in the east-west direction while they're sleeping have more awakenings during the night and decreased quality of sleep. One of the conclusions of the study is that our brainwaves are sensitive to Earth's electromagnetic field. So
Wrong.
whether you should lay facing north or facing south is going to depend on which hemisphere that you live. I'm getting really into this neuroarchitecture stuff, so
I bet you are.
Yeah.
So is the brain
Yeah.
affected by electromagnetic frequencies?
Steve,
At all?
sure.
Steve,
Is it,
as the
is it
neurologist?
to what degree?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it has to be way more powerful.
That's like saying, does the
Right.
gravity of Jupiter have an influence on me? Sure,
Right.
Mhm.
maybe,
Mhm.
probably, but to what? Bob has more influence over me gravitationally than Jupiter does.
I'm so fatigued. I
And
am so
emotionally.
fatigued by this shit. Oh my god, it's like yet another thing. Like,
Oh, it's endless. Oh yeah, that's
It's endless. It's
It is
endless.
endless. That's why we're gonna have a show
but that-
forever.
But that shit right there that we're talking about, how you sleep, that level of frustration has gone to imperceptible levels compared to the other crazy shit that's
Oh,
happening
you're right, Bob. You're
throughout
right.
this country.
So what's
And-
the difference between imperceptible and zero for practical purposes? There is none.
I mean,
There is
that
not.
stuff doesn't even bother me anymore because
Yeah, we might lose our
democracy in the
country.
United
I know.
States could be ending. It's like,
There we go.
who cares? Believe that shit.
Well, it's gonna be ramping up.
Oh,
The
my
election's
friend.
actually not too far
My
away. At this point.
friends.
My friends.
My friends.
Why don't we get into Evan's
Oh,
game?
because
can
I have
get
to
into
share my
Evan's
thing
game.
with.
He does have to
with,
share.
I have to share
There is thing.
first. with
Before we do that, I think
Yeah.
to Bob's point, I mean, did you know that like there's no point in doing all that medical stuff?
Big picture,
Let's do
since
this one.
holistic
Cool.
care gets just as good a results as things like surgery, medications, injections,
You are an
ablations, and other
asshole.
invasive and risky treatments,
What a dick.
honestly, unless you have red flags, the natural way is
You're a
the
fucking
most
red
effective and the safest
Wow.
and the most evidence-based option.
Now, do you want to take bets on whether or not that guy is a chiropractor?
Jeez. I mean, just like
Could be a
with-
naturopath.
with
Could be
total
a-
confidence.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, fake shit is just as good as surgery. I mean, what? Look at
Yeah.
I've got degrees on the wall and I'm wearing blue. Trust me. It's like
It's like the brainwaves thing on TikTok is one thing, but then that on TikTok is like
you did that just to piss me off.
I
Ian,
did.
know
I
it.
know. I
But,
rile you up every week.
He
I try to-
does.
Poke
He
the
does
bear.
kind of walk it back to a significant level when he said, "Unless there's red flags." That covers a lot of
It's like,
ground.
yeah, what does that mean?
That covers a lot of ground.
It's so clinical. He's so accurate in what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I get all my medical advice from TikTok.
TikTok, all social media.
Unless
is
you have
medical.
actual illness.
Right.
Right. That's basically what he said.
All right. It is Jeopardy time, everybody who's excited
Okay.
for Jeopardy. Evan, take it away.
Thank you, Ian. This week's game is based on a board game that I played with my friends over at Which Game First called Metro, Metro. And so therefore what I decided to do was cut up this time's categories into the letters for the word Metro. So
Okay.
first category is M, and then you have E, and then you have T, and then RO.
Row.
I go
Row.
row. So
Row.
the answers will begin with each of these letters. Okay.
Oh.
So the row. So be
Got
careful
it.
on the RO. Every answer will start with RO. Okay.
Good.
MENT.
Rocky
Now-
Road.
We flipped a coin backstage and it went down a drain, so we have no idea how it landed. Therefore, Ian, you are going to
Oh, Lord.
choice.
Let's go M with 200.
M for 200.
Oh, boy.
Good luck, everyone. Dirt plus
Mud.
water
Dang,
equals
Steve.
this. Who said it first? Was Steve?
I think I
believe
did.
It was Bob and Steve.
Bob
It's
got
for-
it.
What do
yeah,
I
I think
know?
maybe, yeah. Or yeah.
It's going to Bob.
Yeah,
Take
it
it
was
away, Bob.
pretty-
Oh, all right, let's go RO 200.
RO
Very good.
200. Asimov's 3 laws.
Robotics.
Uh,
That Steve got in there.
Yeah.
Steve definitely got
I am ashamed.
that.
Shame.
As you should be.
Shame. The stain doesn't come off. Okay.
M for 400.
M for 400. A diagrammatic representation of an
Map?
area of land. Oh, Ian, on
I
top
was
of
like,
Got it.
area of
Good job.
It
land.
seemed too obvious.
map? Yeah, exactly. That's why I question mark it. I was like, map?
A 14-word definition for a 3-letter word.
Yeah.
like
You can
that
just go to 600.
600. M. Small, self-proclaimed entities that assert their sovereignty as independent states, but which are not acknowledged by other countries.
Micronations.
Oh, well done, Ian.
Oh my God.
You are.
I was like, I
What?
kind of made
You are
that up.
on point.
I've heard
Ian,
that
your
before.
your stupid guess is the correct answer.
I mean, what else are they going to call
Continents,
it?
but not micronations. Wow, good
They are
one.
micronations.
There's
There's several of them. Look them up.
That's a word. I know, crazy. All right, we'll go 800.
800. M. The United States state that shares
Maine.
a border.
Maine, very good.
Steve, you got it right.
Yep.
He certainly did.
Shares a border with only one other U.S. state.
Yeah, Maine, Florida.
1,000.
Okay, 1,000. This color was banned
Magenta.
in the 1990s.
Oh.
Nope. Due to concerns
What?
about
What?
neurological toxicity. Begins with an M.
Mauve. I don't. It's not mauve.
Oh, Steve, I'm surprised. When I show it, you'll probably be like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's right.
Magenta.
Oh, you're
this
not
color?
quite. Yeah, it's a color. It was banned. Oh, well, let me check.
Mellifluous.
Magnesium.
Let me check the chat and see if anyone else
Magnesia.
is bringing in here.
I said mauve too.
Someone said mauve. Nope. Someone said Maine. Oh, that was the last. Mustard. Nope. It's not mustard.
What would be a neurologically toxic? What do you mean
So
color?
you'll give it
Like,
another moment.
Maroon?
Right,
Red
maroon,
dye
not
number-
maroon.
Nobody got it. What is it?
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
Manganese blue.
Manganese.
Manganese. You know about that, Steve?
No, never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Fascinating. We'll talk about that on an upcoming episode, maybe.
There you go.
I'll do it as an extra segment. At some
Merple.
point.
Yeah.
Merple.
Light Merple.
Morange. Who had it?
I
who
did.
got-
Row for
Steve.
400.
Okay, row for 400. In North America, seeing the first one of these is a harbinger
Robin
of
Redbreast.
spring.
Yeah,
The
Robin.
robin. I think Steve, that was for you.
That's no fair.
question. That was a bird.
Is anyone else taking the RO and doing the first word R, second word O, and just
No.
like
No.
No,
Not yet.
Just you,
These
Bob.
are all going to be one word, and it's R, and they all
Like
begin with R.
red
Yeah,
or
that-
mother.
messed up.
RO for 600.
RO for 600. Among its models are the Silver Cloud and the Phantom.
Road Racer.
That's pretty good.
Anyone got it in
Rocket.
chat?
Rocket.
Not Rocket.
The Phantom.
Let's see if anyone gets it in the
Cloud.
chat.
Roadster.
Checking. Not the
Yeah.
Roadster. Nope. Philemon Vanderbeck got it.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
I was
yes.
going to say this earlier. 'cause
Rolls-
I was
yeah,
like, it's gotta be
Rolls
one.
Royce.
Rolls Royce. Yep, the Silver Cloud.
I should have
And
said
Silver
Phantom.
Cloud. Yeah,
Okay.
I hadn't heard that one. I heard of the Phantom though.
Steve?
800.
In Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh my God.
this spell allows the caster to magically
Rope trick.
create typo there an extra dimensional space to hide the rope
Wow.
trick. You're good, Steve.
That's
You're
nice,
knocking
Steve.
out the ROs here.
I wish that was real.
That would be nice.
It's
RO for 1,000.
as real as sleeping aligned with the magnetic field. Radical Jacobian leader and one of the principal figures
Robespierre.
in the French Revolution.
No.
Ian
No.
nailed
I
it.
almost
Grab
Let's
the
freaking
1,000.
go.
I don't know, man. It seemed like a tie to me.
Who else
I'll
got
split
it,
it with
Bob?
Bob.
Can
I'll,
you guys hear me? Can you guys?
Yes,
yes,
I
we
hear
can hear
Bob.
you.
I'm not kidding. Like, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, we can hear you.
Yes.
It's
I hear you
All right.
clearly, Bob.
Bob, you do have a crappy mic. Just saying.
Evan has to be the one because it's got to go to one person. So they, you know.
But I throw it out. I want to double check. I want to be as honest as possible. If
No,
so,
yeah.
if I miss something,
Give it to
you know,
Bob.
while I'm reading, I
No,
don't
no, take
necessarily
it.
hear.
Yeah, I think you beat me by a nanosecond, but it was
All right,
damn
I'll
close.
take it. Somebody in the chat will tell us later, like they did. I think,
Bob,
a
I
couple
trust you.
weeks
If you
ago.
feel you rang in first, I will give you the credit.
No, if I really think it, I'll fucking let you know.
You send me a one-word text, right?
He will.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. We'll treat
All
you
right,
those
Ian.
spam calls. We'll go E for 200.
E for 200. A direction on a map.
East.
East.
Mhm.
Yeah,
got
I
it
think
first,
Ian think I got it.
Ian got it
Come
first,
on,
too.
bro.
Well, the 200s are always stupid
Easty.
simple.
I know they're dumb. We'll go 400.
I wouldn't call them dumb.
I'm sorry, they're silly.
It's in the room. Don't talk about it.
Ethan.
Elephant.
That was a tie.
It was pretty. Yeah,
That was
I
close.
think
Steve.
I heard Steve, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Steve.
Go ahead.
That was darn close, though.
Right. 600.
E. Describing an unconventional.
Eccentric. Oh, that was Bob.
There we go again.
That was Bob. I
Give it
think
to Bob.
Yeah, give it to Bob.
All
No
right,
question about that
eccentric.
one.
No question about that one.
Bob, you are an unconventional, slightly strange person.
Well,
E for
All right.
1,000.
E for 1,000.
it's gifted.
Ooh. A Hebrew phrase that means stone of help. It's also the first name of a main character in a Charles Dickens book.
Dang.
Ebenezer.
Oh,
Right, Steve. Nailed it.
Good.
Good job. That was a tough one.
Yeah,
Not the
Ebenezer.
easiest one.
gotcha.
That's because you speak Hebrew, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Fluently.
Totally.
And you don't
Fluent.
no, you don't speak Dickens. So
Well,
800.
Nobody
Finish up that
does.
category.
a country by the Baltic Sea in northern Europe, formerly
Estonia.
part of the Soviet Union, is in fact Estonia. All right, Jay, this is where you make it up. You have to take all the T's, all
I
right?
hope so. Let's see what happens.
Jay has a perfect score.
perfect.
200.
It's golf.
T for 200, okay? You're only
Tomorrow.
a day away.
Ian got it. Ian got that one.
Did he really?
Ian's
Yes,
like fast.
he blurted out a noise that kind of sounded like tomorrow-ish.
Flip.
Flurp.
I love this game. Ian.
400.
Woo, the science of making an otherwise
Terraforming.
Steve, I think you first said it correct first.
Ian never actually said it.
I didn't
Yeah,
finish
right,
it.
exactly.
I went terror and then I forgot.
Inhabitable world.
Wait,
Who got that? Who got that?
I did.
Steve got it.
Can we just poll the audience, please?
All right.
Why, do you think you got it, Bob?
But yeah, I mean, you can't physically say it faster than I said it.
Okay,
Yeah, give it to
you're
Bob.
going to
Like
hear
Bob got it.
Steve.
Give it to
Bob
me.
got
later
it. Like
than
he said,
Evan
I
will.
would fucking know.
I don't know,
He's
man,
right.
because it's frustrating.
I know.
You're not loud enough, Bob. That's the problem.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm screaming this crap out, and it's just like I'm not. It's like whatever.
Liz is like, what
There could be a slight delay in the time that your voice to your phone microphone picks up, whereas we're using our studio.
You know,
I'm going to connect a microphone. I'm going to hold it.
Evan, you know what we got to do? Let's talk to Ian. Let's come up with a way for us to buzz in.
we can do a buzz.
There's
we
a
can
phone.
use the
There's a
BBC
phone app.
buzzing.
We could, if we wanted to go to the phone app, there is one. We could do.
Yeah, but how we have to visually represent it. All right, we'll talk about it.
I mean,
But in the meantime, we've got
Totally
3
fine,
buttons.
'cause
600.
That's why I lose every goddamn week. It's
Oh,
because of the delay. I'm good with that.
And that's the
600.
only reason. Go ahead.
That's
the
it.
only
We're
reason.
gonna
That's my
do it
story.
in the
I'm
same
sticking
room
with it.
for the
All right,
24-hour show in the same room.
600.
Bob's controlling the board.
We're gonna mute everyone but Bob.
T for 600. That's Ian. You're so cool. A twisting
Tornado.
Oh,
no,
my.
a twisting force that tends
Torsion.
to cause rotation.
Portion, yeah.
Torque.
Oh,
If
yes,
I don't
torque.
Okay,
get
I was
if
like,
that wasn't a
torsion,
winning
torque,
answer,
whatever.
I quit the game.
But it
twisting
wasn't-
force
it was-
that tends to
it's a
cause
winning
rotation.
answer for something.
Look up the definition of torque.
I know what
That's
torque
what
is.
you'll see.
I'm just
You won't
angry.
see that for 20.
Yeah, but
Oh,
you know,
I think
board.
Jay said torque-nado. I think that's
Oh, did you?
No, I said
Tornado.
Sharknado. I invented that.
You
movie.
did invent
I-
Sharknado.
Thank
You totally invented Sharknado.
because Jay invented Sharknado, I think he deserves all those points.
all right. Give him the points. I'll tell you.
But Ian, you can pick.
Oh, there you go, Jay.
Jay's in an insurmountable lead.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, which one?
800.
A Mexican dish of seasoned meat.
Tortilla. No,
wrap-
tamale.
Hot tamale.
Now, okay, so here's the thing. I
I
heard
think
Steve say it clearly first. I heard
Yeah.
Ian start to say it and not finish.
No, but I said the wrong thing first. So
I said it while
I
he was
should-
saying the
yes.
wrong thing.
Yeah, he should get it.
I think
I will
Ian is
give
just
it.
vocalizing. That's all he's doing.
I said tortilla, and then I said tamale, but Steve said it.
Hot
Steve said it first.
tamale.
All right, go ahead, Ian.
All right,
why don't you-
1,000.
All right, 1,000. I'm
Oh, yeah,
changing
yeah,
it
I'll
to
take it.
10,000. Okay, so whoever
Oh,
gets
boy.
this is going to
It's a
win.
10,000.
It's suddenly 10,000.
Here we go.
Right? An ancient city in Mali, situated 20 kilometers north of the Niger River. Think of it.
Tiger.
It's an ancient city, beginning with the letter T.
No.
Eh.
Let's see if the chat gets it. at
Okay.
all. The chat might win this one.
Tamale.
Lou said, "Damn it."
Tamale. Molly tamale. No. Tasmania. Where I don't know.
Let's see. Not Tigris, not Thebes or Thebes. Oh, Odysseus Galanus.
Oh no, the most obvious.
Timbuktu.
Timbuktu.
Come on.
The chat wins.
I thought it.
Nice, guys.
That was made up.
Wow.
That's the real place.
Timbuktu.
It's a real, right? We only heard it in Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Yeah.
I
Right?
just,
Yeah.
I just now learned that was a real place. I just well, I grew
It's
up
on Google
listening to
Earth.
Bugs Bunny, and I never knew Saskatchewan was a real place until
Yeah.
geography. I'm like, oh my god,
It's
Bugs
Saskatchewan.
I
Yeah.
think chat won. Good job, chat.
I used to
Good
do that with
job,
my
chat.
daughters when they
Well
were very
played.
young. Is I would mention places that were real but
Mhm.
sound fake to
Yeah.
kids. You know,
Like
like
truth or
Madagascar,
consequences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Constantinople, Saskatchewan.
You're making that up, Dad.
Yeah, no, Saskatchewan's a real place.
And that's where our 2000th
That's
show
good.
will be in Timbuktu.
Timbuktu.
Yes.
Another one,
Yeah.
Timbuktu.
Djibouti. That's a good one.
Tuskegee.
Djibouti. Also,
All
is
right.
like
Well,
the
it was an
capital of
off day
Djibouti.
for me.
Lake
I'm okay with that.
Titicaca.
Mhm.
Way up. Titicaca.
That was
Lake
fun.
Titicaca.
Thanks, guys.
You know,
Thanks
my-
for making that fun.
My problem is that my daughter
Yeah.
sneaks into bed with me and my wife in the middle of the night, and then she
no.
kicks me and hits me all night.
Your wife?
My
So why
Oh,
don't
your
you lock
daughter.
your
Okay.
door?
Yeah,
What's-
lock your
yeah,
door.
what-
because she'll get, it's like I don't know
Lock
what to
your door,
do.
hide your
She'll
wife.
get in.
Lock
She'll-
your
she'll-
door.
or set a trap.
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah.
Traps.
Like a cage that falls down. as she
Home
comes
Alone style.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I've told
I
her
got some
many,
extra paint cans in my garage.
Yeah. Dunk.
I told her if you're ever scared, you can come in. You know what I mean? It's like I got this thing. I don't want to like lock the door on her.
Yeah.
Why don't
Anyway.
you have like a cot or something for her to sleep on in your room so she doesn't have to be in the bed?
We
next to
have
you?
that.
Or a cot that when she kicks you, you go and sleep in the cot.
That's true.
Oh, it's happened many times where I just let her sleep in my bed and I go in her bed.
Yeah.
There you go. Sure.
Does
That's
anybody
a good dad.
collect? Does anybody collect interesting jack-o'-lantern stems?
What?
Stems?
What?
No.
Bob, I can assure you that nobody on the planet does
There's
that.
one.
That is pretty interesting. I will give you that.
I stand
That's-
corrected.
That's my third favorite. This is my
Oh, wow.
second favorite.
Bob, I heard you're into STEM.
Yeah,
Okay. That
And
looks
this-
like a witch's hat.
he took it
This
very
one's
literal.
my favorite. This was on my daughter Ashley's jack-o'-lantern a bunch of years ago.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
like that
very
one.
cool.
That's
Isn't that
very
great?
nice.
That's cool.
Wow.
All right, so there's something new on my shelf back here. Anybody
Oh,
notice?
Lord.
it?
Oh, okay. Let's have a
Elf.
look.
Hold on,
Can we
let
get a
I'll
fuller
get
screen?
I'll get a
of,
full screen.
yeah, let's full
New
screen
from
Steve here.
it wasn't there
The
last week.
wrong full screen. Hold on. Let me.
Oh, I wasn't here last week.
Uh-huh.
Is that blocking? Oh, that's
We got a
blocking.
lightsaber. We got a katana.
Something
skull.
different.
I'll just full screen. it.
That blue piece of glass.
Nope, that was I made that by the way. That's I believe.
I know what it is. It's the fourth book from the left, on the
Yeah.
bottom middle.
No. Is it the jar on the next to the lightsaber?
Wait, is it that skull in the upper right-hand corner that's floating in that piece of plastic, wherever that is?
No,
Is that a skull?
that
Chat.
I mean on the box on
That's
the
a real skull.
It's the
bottom
one.
right.
It's the one closest to the door on the top.
Is
Oh,
it
is
a
it-
spider? Yeah.
is
it's
it-
You
is
mean
the-
next to the red sphere?
Horcrux.
Steve, you have three shelving rows there.
What about
right?
that
Yeah.
Roman helmet?
The one
thing?
that's closest to the door on the top above the blue piece of glass.
Oh no,
Under the astronaut.
that is not it.
All right, we can't figure it out. What is it? The lightsaber.
Is it the helmet?
No, the lightsaber was there last time.
Okay.
It is
Where?
He's trying to pick it.
this right there.
What
Oh,
is
that indescribable smudge.
Steve, I see literally a smudge.
It's a skeleton. It's a little skeleton.
Go get
Wow.
it. What are you doing?
I mean, I'll show it to
It
you.
used to be in your closet.
That in my screen, that's 3 pixels.
Exactly. Like, well,
Oh my
it's
god.
get a
Bob
really
Squatch. I
big
mean, you might as well
screen.
call it a UFO.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh,
it's a bobblehead.
I could barely
Bob.
see that even
want a
up close.
Bob.
Oh
Well,
my
that's
God,
that's
Steve.
what Steve bought. I'll show you what I bought.
Yeah, I bought
Oh,
this
Lord.
last weekend.
Here we go.
Here.
Is it cool?
It's cool, but that was really a weird way to like Steve. There's just no way. My life could have counted on that, and I never.
Somebody
would've
could
been able
have
to-
gone back to the previous live stream.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. I will let you know whenever I change things on those shelves, and then you
That's
can
right.
guess what's the difference.
That's the game. You win nothing, but
Somebody asked me
Right.
what's in the safe, and the answer is my kids' electronics because I lock them up at night.
Here's what I got at that store.
Oh, let's see.
oh,
I
Oh,
recognize that.
did you get it from Clarice?
Clary.
That's like what is that? The death head moss.
Oh, the Death Head one.
Death
Yeah,
Head
the.
So this, I'm always looking for interesting trinkets to put on my witch bookcase.
Well, you gotta store your
Which
poison
one?
in something.
My witch bookcase.
Which bookcase?
Which?
WITCH.
Who's on first?
Bastard. Ah,
What else you
The
got?
Who's on First routine is a classic.
Oh,
It's
that
genius.
is. That is. It is.
Just
I
it
wonder.
always
If,
works.
I wonder if I don't know if my daughters have ever seen it. They probably. The
Oh,
thing
do you
is,
think they would appreciate it? I don't know. It's very generational baseball.
I don't know.
50s kind of thing.
because it was before our generation, we appreciated it.
We
It was from
did.
It was from the 30s or the 40s or something.
It's a skit. Yeah, it's the Abbott and Costello skit from the 40s, I
Yeah.
think.
That's
And
brilliant.
it's brilliant.
It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
it is.
But I do wonder.
Evan won with
The thing
skeleton
is-
in the closet.
the hell was
For-
that, Jay?
For things like that,
Yes.
even if like I've never explicitly showed it to them, they somehow have absorbed it from the culture.
Sure.
You know, I told you the story of like the first time I watched
Monty Python.
No, well, yeah. So I watched Monty Python with them, and they were like every other line was like, "That's why you say that." But
Why you say half the
that's where
things
you
you
got
say.
that from.
So
But,
good.
no, The Empire Strikes Back. Right, we're watching The Empire Strikes Back,
Okay.
and the whole big reveal is coming with, no, I am your father. Right, so I'm waiting for it. It happens. Zero reaction from my daughters. So I stopped it. I'm like, "What the hell? How
Are you alive? That's
how
fine.
could you? Do you hear what he just said?" They're like, "Oh yeah, we pretty much figured." Like, what do you mean?
What do
You
you-
pretty much figured?
No.
And they basically already knew somehow because they just had absorbed it from the culture.
Culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because
It was
they'd
like
heard
in
the phrase
cartoons
before,
or whatever.
I remember reading a Star Wars trade magazine before we found out, and the best guess that the magazine can come up with was Boba Fett.
Yeah, I remember that. I read that article too.
Yeah. Weak.
Luke was Luke's dad.
That's like
Yeah.
lazy.
I know. It's like no.
Lazy.
I know. And then in retrospect, it was really ridiculous, circumstantial kind of evidence. Like, why did Boba Fett miss Luke when he was, because Vader told him he didn't want him to kill him, right? Anyway,
Well, he specifically said no disintegrations.
no disintegrations.
No.
That was, yeah, we talked about this before.
We didn't see one disintegration in that whole episode.
I played a video game. It was a Star Wars video game. Come on, it's one of the ones that recently came out. I can't remember.
The Old Republic or something.
No, it wasn't that one. It was really good lightsaber fighting. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And there was one scene. It was a very short scene where you're running away from Darth Vader. He's scary.
Yeah.
Like in the midst of that game and everything, like meeting Darth Vader was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like he is the best villain of all time.
Yeah.
Without it, nobody's even close.
If not
He's
one, he's
iconic.
up there. He's iconic. Yeah. Awesome villain. Yeah, I was reading a review of the Star Wars TV shows because we're watching Acolyte right now, which is fine. I like it. I think the best, actually, the best
Say it.
series is the live action TV series of Star Wars is Andor.
I like Andor a lot.
Yeah.
It's very
they
good.
Really kicked ass on it.
But what a lot of them miss is they're not big enough. There's no spectacle, and there's no gravitas. You know what I mean? It just doesn't have that Star Wars. And I get that it's hard because they've created the best villain ever, and it's hard for any other Star Wars villain to live up to Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But some do, though, in that they're great villains without competing with Vader. You know what I mean? Like, they're not trying to be Vader. They're their own kind of villain, and it works, and it's great.
So who are the best villains in Star Wars after Vader?
Well, Thrawn.
Who?
Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
He's great.
My favorite, and I only saw him for minutes in a couple of episodes, was the red-eyed gunslinger. What the hell was his name?
Yeah.
Oh, he was good. He was good.
He's
was
really
just
good.
Epic on so many
He was
levels.
from the cartoons, though. I mean, he did appear in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's why I know him, just from the Mandalorian. But
That's what I'm saying. He's got a completely different vibe than
absolutely,
than
from the
Darth
first
Vader.
moment I saw him, like, that guy is awesome.
I think Jar Jar Binks was the biggest villain, my favorite villain.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Sith.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The villains there were
Oh,
all
God.
the horrible people that vilified the actor to such a degree that he was just like, I mean, what they did to hit the poor guy who voiced him was horrible.
And that's extra tough when all you hear is the voice. It's not even like you saw the person. It's himself,
Yeah, right.
and they're
Just the
able,
guy who
and they
voiced
make that connection to that person, right?
He was treated pretty horribly, from what I've gathered. Really bad. You know how toxic fandom can be.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
People
heck yeah.
can be terrible.
Oh, merciless.
All right, guys, I got to go because I am packing for a vacation tomorrow that I've been packing for the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you care to tell us, or you'll tell us about it when you
Yeah,
get
we're
back?
taking the kids to Maine.
Oh, that's the state with only one that borders
That's
only
right.
one other U.S. state.
That's why I got it. It's like a camping type of situation, and
Yeah.
we're bringing so
All the
much
LARP.
stuff. You could melt all this
Camping.
stuff.
You mean glamping?
Yeah, whatever. I hate that word. Yeah, it is. It's not, camping. There's like a spectrum, Bob. You know what I mean?
And glamping is at the far end.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But you're not roughing it.
No.
No, you're not going to be in tents
You're not
In
going
the
to
middle of
go
the woods.
fishing for your own trout for
in
dinner.
the middle of the woods, or like in a camping facility.
We're gonna be at a camping facility.
Right.
And there's like a little water park, and we're gonna go hiking and ride bikes and all that stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Nice.
But like to pull it all together, Courtney and I, oh my God, it's really a pain in the ass.
Watch out for moose and bears.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But
And
my wife does most of the heavy lifting, but I've been just figuring out what to bring alone is like a panic attack
Yeah.
because we really don't know what we need.
You should have a big SUV and just
how
put
long
all
are you
of them in
gone? 2 questions. How long are you gone for, and how close are you?
Mhm.
Are you to a?
Oh, we're going to
place where you
Acadia,
get
so
things?
apparently that's like 8 or 9 hours.
Oh,
north
I've
of
been
here.
there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really
Not
awesome.
that many.
Ian, tell me anything that we should do while we're there. I'd appreciate that.
I'll have to ask my wife. I forget.
Okay,
But it's
that's
really
fine.
cool. It's nice and cool up there, like temperature wise.
Yeah, and I mean, you know how you like you
Take
you-
a harbor tour.
in your
Yeah,
head
that's
you
cool.
think, oh yeah, it's going to be relaxing and we're going to hang out outside, but there's going to be 4 kids,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and there is not going to be any relaxing. You know
I
what I
like
mean?
I like backyard camping.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, we have
Yes.
fun
all,
doing that.
all the benefits
gosh,
of
yeah.
camping, but you're in your backyard.
All
Yeah.
the-
Have an
Get blueberry
emergency.
pie
done
while you're
that.
up there. The blueberry pie is exceptionally good,
And this is
and the lobster rolls are mediocre because
I love
lobster
blueberry
rolls are
pie.
better. But yeah, blueberry pie is like really, really, really good up there.
Oh, awesome! All right,
I
did
think I
not
went
know
to
that.
Bar Harbor actually. Maybe there were a couple of spots. I'll try to give you
Yeah,
some
Bar Harbor.
recommendations. Before we go, I do want to mention to everybody you should go to the website, and if you see here your SGU experience, there's a button. You can click on it. Click on that button. It's on a loop. You can click and drag whatever. But send us an email about your experience with the SGU. If it changed anything in your life or for the better or worse, actually not worse, just say better, or anything, we've gotten a couple submissions, so keep doing that. There you go. Ta-da. Anything else to end with? Actually, I have one thing to end with. This is something that I remember from my childhood, I guess. This is an Abbott and Costello bit, a little spoof on it. So let's see if we can play this just for a second.
Brochus is on.
Are you the manager?
Yes.
You mean the coach too?
Yes.
You know the fella's names?
Well, I should.
Well, then Tino Martinez is on first.
Yes.
I mean the fella's name.
Tino Martinez.
The guy on first.
Tino
The
Martinez.
first baseman.
Tino Martinez.
The guy playing first.
Tino Martinez is on first.
I'm asking you, Tino Martinez.
There you go. Okay. Anyway, so it's a little spoof on the whole. Anyway, all right.
Yes,
that's
an
fine.
homage.
It's an homage, a little, tongue-in-cheek thing. Anyway, I like it. Yes, Connecticut lobster rolls are the best.
Mhm.
Because they're hot butter, and the main ones are like
Lobsters are
or
insects
other.
of the sea.
That's true. Or mayo and
Yes, they are.
So we're
Yes,
all
they
be
are.
gonna
All
eating
right,
bugs
bye,
at some
everyone.
point. Okay, goodbye.
Bye, Steven's new skeleton. Goodbye, Bob's elixir of whatever. Bye,
Bye,
Jay.
guys.
Going to the
Hey guys,
woods.
have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, have a good
Yes,
weekend, everyone.
You as well.
Do something nice
Friday.
for somebody. I said it first, Jay.
Thank you, Ian.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Do
please.
something
do.
nice for Jay too.
We live in a world.
Oh boy.
We do live in a
Yes,
world.
we
All
do.
right.
In a world
Nice.
where-
Which
where
world?
there are a
Thank
lot.
you.
There's a lot
In
of
a
negativity.
world.
There is, and it's very easy to do something nice for someone that you love. Just do it.
Just do it.
Take 5 minutes right now and
Do it.
surprise
You
someone
feel
with
like
something
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't crush them with your SUV.
Right.
How's that?
Break into somebody's house.
I
That'll
fully
be a
agree. Yeah.
surprise.
Do not drive over anybody this weekend.
That's right.
Right?
All right. Goodbye. Wave.
Ciao, everybody.
Okay.
Ciao.
So
Let's all
long,
chat.
Krabby.
Bye.
Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is produced by SGU Productions, dedicated to promoting science and critical thinking. For more information, visit us at theskepticsguide.org. Send your questions to info@theskepticsguide.org. And if you would like to support the show and all the work that we do, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide and consider becoming a patron and becoming part of the SGU community. Our listeners and supporters are what make SGU possible.
Jay? No Jay?
No,
Wow.
Jay.
He doesn't do
Jay.
these.
No, Jay.
I don't think he does these anymore.
He doesn't remember.
Did he?
swear
I
to
wasn't
God.
here last week. Did he do it last week?
No.
Did you do it alone last
Yeah,
week?
with Brian, actually. I think Brian was on with, right? Everybody? Yeah, Brian Wecht was there. And yeah, I think he didn't remember, except that he was just waiting to talk to me. And then I was like, oh, by the way, we're live. So he's like, oh, wait.
Hey, we didn't have to pay him extra for that.
No, we didn't. That's all
Okay,
free. That's
good.
on the house.
'Cause that
baby.
was not in the contract.
That's true. It is not.
By
on
the way,
contract.
he's
And
very demanding.
He is a all
Very
the
demanding soul.
M&Ms and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Jay has sort of forgotten, but also I think he's just like, oh God, I gotta go do all this craziness with these
Yes,
children's.
He's
These
got
crazy children's. Yeah. There was no last week. Oh, but it was the last time. Yes. Okay. The time
Last
before.
time.
There was no last week. But
Right. Because where was I that Friday? I was at that festival, at that concert festival that they screwed me over on. I did a whole segment on that.
That's true.
Which,
that's annoying.
So that is a to be continued kind of story once that eventually resolves. So, I'm here. I'm ready to answer any questions that you have.
Questions. Let's see.
Oh, fire them at me. Even if I don't know the answer, I will give you an answer that is satisfactory to me.
Sure. From Nosy Nick, although I will probably pronounce it as Noisy Nick, because he's chatting in the chat. I seem to have an overripe watermelon here, but no hydraulic press. Any suggestions with what I should do towards it? I said that wrong, but I don't care. No, I have no suggestions.
No suggestions for that one, Ian? I mean,
nope. I have a rule to not talk about it.
Do we have any practical experience?
No, none. Actually, no.
Actually, we don't. We don't know what happens.
I cannot even visualize it. There was a chance to win a signed book offered to private show ticket holders if they moved to an earlier show. Was that winner announced? I may have missed it. Yeah, actually, we should yell at Jay about that. I think he did, and we sent it, but let me triple check. I'm going to email myself that.
All right. Ian's on that.
That double blue question for Steve. Okay. Well,
go ahead. Fire away. I'll answer.
I'll save it for next week too. I just listened to your TikTok bit from 4 weeks ago about covering watermelons injected with red food coloring. Yes, you talked about erythrocene safety, but never discussed if it even happens in the first place. I'm 99% sure this is an urban legend. Yeah, so on TikTok, it was becoming popular that people were opening watermelons and they were like rubbery, or they were the color was also off because they would like damp it with a paper towel. And their claim was that, one, it's fake because it's plastic or whatever, or two, that they were being injected with this type of chemical to make it like more colorful.
You've seen yellow watermelons, right?
Yeah, I think I have actually seen those before. So part of it was like the rubber ones were like they were overripe or like they were stored improperly, so it like makes the flesh rubbery. And then I think the whole color additive thing is a myth too. It's like they don't actually inject it to make it redder. But the claim was like they're injecting it with erythrocene, and that is also very bad for you. Whatever. So even if they are, it's not. But blah blah blah. Let's see.
Let's move on.
This is a question for Steve, but any bear sightings for you, Evan?
Bear sightings for me. Oh gosh, no grizzlies, no black bears, no brown bears, no polar bears, no Chicago bears, none.
Okay.
There have been none. So what I can deduce from this is that all bear species on the planet have gone extinct.
That's true.
So, there, I promise.
Bye, bears. No bears.
The Bear Patrol is working. Bear in sight.
I legit tried to find watermelon Swiss chocolate, no dice. Yeah, I don't know if that would be. What would that be like? I mean, you could dip. I know there was a thing on TikTok that people were putting mustard on watermelons and like, you got to try this. It's the best. And it's
mustard
like,
and watermelon.
It can't possibly be good. I think you're just crazy. But you could dip some watermelon in chocolate. Just see how that works out, Olivia, and then get back to us.
Anything in chocolate.
That's true. Well, yes.
Almost anything.
Majority of anything.
Whatever it is, it's going to probably make it better, even if it's horrid. It'll be just that much less horrid. What else? A couple others?
There was no other questions in Discord. Go ahead and ask them in the YouTube chat. I'm just sending you that about the book. There we go. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom.
Just the bare necessities, John Topping. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I would have
Berenstain or Evan Bernstein.
Oh yeah, the Baron. Yeah, that used to always be a confusing thing, especially to the kids. Right? They couldn't get my last name. It's like you're the Bears in the book, and Bernstein and Berenstein, and why is there an extra letter? And it was a very confusing thing. So what I did as like an 8-year-old is I sued them, and for damages.
Sure.
and it was only for 500 million, and it was deemed frivolous by the court. And
woke sounds woke to me. I don't know. I just don't know.
But I tried to claw some money out of it.
That's good. That's the American way. Man or bear? I know that Evan. Have you heard of this trend? I think
man or bear. What you like? You look at something.
I know some people are taking it a little bit like too seriously. Like it's mostly comes from women on TikTok or other social media platforms where they're like, "Would you prefer to encounter a man in the forest or a bear?" And the majority of them are saying bear because of like the implied like aggressive sexual like assault tones of like a man. And I think some people are a little too like they're a little hurt by it. It's like you wouldn't want to go up against a bear, it would maul you to death. It's like, okay, that's not like entirely the point. Like just maybe chill out. Anyway, it's just a silly little, but either way, man or bear? Evan, for you,
for me?
For you, what do you think?
I would be less afraid myself of a man than a bear. So for me, for my own, fright.
What type of bear though? Because I feel like grizzly bears are notoriously
grizzly bear will destroy
kill you.
You seen those videos? Oh my gosh!
And polar bears too.
Death sentence.
Apparently
Polar bears
they're
are
pretty
deadly.
bad.
Yeah, you've seen some videos of people like
Brown
putting
bear,
themselves into those cube like
right.
anti-bear cubes and then letting a bear kind of go at them, with their teeth all up.
I think
you are low on the food chain when it comes.
But
to
like black bears or maybe some brown bears, I think they're pretty skittish of humans, isn't that?
Sure, they can be, but
it is a giant animal, so it is.
Look, I mean, okay, but you asked me personally. I've done some self-defense training in my days, so I take my chances knowing how to fight against a person if it came to a fight rather than a bear, of which I have no.
You should do bear training or do whatever I think the Russians are very fond of hanging out with bears. I've seen some videos, and I don't know why I don't know what they did with that bear, but yeah, cocaine bear or bear with gun. Yeah, I think that's also probably not. But they do have a right to bear arms. Am I right? Thank you so much.
Of course they do.
And that's all I have for you today. Any other comments? Let's see. Cheers for answering that. I was curious about. Oh yeah, no problem. New question. We have one maybe question. Here's a question for Evan. Has he tried any solo tabletop RPGs? And if so, can you recommend any?
Wow, an excellent question.
That's an interesting one.
The answer is no, I haven't. In fact, I've played very few solo games, even tabletop RPGs or anything, because for two reasons. I have a limited amount of time. Frankly, I can't ever quite find the time to engage in a game on my own. If I do have time in which I'm doing something, I'm like fixing something in the house, right? So I don't think, because gaming to me, it's as much, if not sometimes more, the social aspect of it and being and bonding with friends over a game. So for me, the solo gaming, it doesn't grip me as much as it does other people. So I wish I could make a real recommendation for you there, but unfortunately I cannot. I am sorry about that.
Yeah.
But to whomever posed that question, if you ever want to play a game with me on Board Game Arena, look me up. I am, what's my handle? Evan WGF, for which game first? Evan WGF. So look me up on Board Game Arena if you like. And
there you go, Darth.
Send me a little friend request there. I'll friend you back, and we'll play some board games together.
That was Darth in the Discord.
There you go.
There you go.
We'll do that someday.
Yeah, fun. I know we should get a gaming stream with you guys one of these days. Maybe as part of the 24-hour, the double 12-hour, whatever we plan on. We'll probably do some of that. And we are going to do some other stuff for like the 20-year.
Oh my gosh!
Extravaganza, so to speak.
Gosh.
Not in that exact one. So there you go. Drop Bears.
Drop Bears, Australia. David Redmond.
That's funny.
Oh gosh.
I have one of those shirts. I don't think they sold very well.
But I have
one.
Gosh, the worst piece of merch we ever sold by far.
I love it.
I mean, by far.
Yeah.
And the only I think at the time, this is when we went to Australia in 2010. I don't even know what the backstory is and who designed it or what, but we had a horrid representation of us basically being devoured by drop bear yowies, or I think is what they're called. and it was just awful. You know, it didn't sell very well. So we wound up hauling all these things back with us. They've been sitting in Steve's, you know, bins and containers where he keeps the swag and stuff for what, 13 years.
Yeah,
and then we bring them with us to Nauticon, in which we had this, you know, the bargain basement bin of old merch and stuff, in which, you know, 2 t-shirts for $5 or whatever, and they were going, and I can't believe it. You know, I mean, I guess, you know, the material itself is worth maybe
the shirt is a nice shirt.
Yeah,
it's a funny logo. Kelly, you didn't get one? We have some.
Oh, Kelly,
we have about 1,000. You can have a couple hundred.
Oh, Kelly, we'll get you. Yeah,
it'll be fine.
Yeah, for all the work you've done, you deserve at least one.
I was like, I wonder if we'll bring any to Chicago, but I don't know if I can convince Jay or Steve to pack those up.
Gosh, that design was so bad.
I know. I love it. But yeah, that 1,000th show is coming up. So there are like only a few tickets left. There will be some other things we'll let you guys know in the next couple weeks about that show. But I think everything is good to go with tonight. That's all we got.
All right.
One other thing, become on Patreon. This is like a little sneak peek. If you can or want to become a free patron, if you aren't already a patron, which we would, you know, say, hey, become a patron, but also there's an option to become a free patron on Patreon. So go ahead and sign up there, and that's all I'll say. Okay. That's it. Evan, any last parting wisdom?
Final words of wisdom. Yes, make sure that you hydrate. Make sure that you still wash your hands, even though we're not, you know, we're not in the pandemic or anything, but it's still good to maintain hygiene and watch out for the germs.
Sure.
And you know, love your pets, cats, dogs, parakeets,
children,
helio monsters, and
water bears.
Absolutely, water bears, grizzly bears.
Grizzly bears.
And so there's a couple of nice things to leave you with.
That's right. And please, yes, till we meet again. Please help, as Kelly said. Please help us with the old episodes if you want to listen to an old episode, and you can pick like a fun segment that happens, or even if you write, it's like nothing was funny in this episode. That would be helpful too. That would just so we know.
You write that.
There might be a lot of those.
We can handle it.
And yes, thank you everyone who has done it so far.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're kicking it into a higher gear now that we are, oh my gosh, a month basically removed from having to do this show. And I got a lot of prep to do. So I started doing that recently. And also we've been uploading pictures, Ian. I don't know if Jay told you.
I haven't seen them, but
oh my gosh, I have found some pictures from the Wayback Machine.
That's awesome.
That are both they're wonderful, cringy, and you know, embarrassing all at the same time. So those should be fun to show.
All right, so we'll see you at the 1,000th show, hopefully, and probably a couple live streams between then. But
I hope so.
See you later.
Thank
Bye
you all.
bye.
Bye, Ian.
Bye.